Have you ever noticed how easily you give away your time, your energy, your mind? Most people live in constant availability, like an open door for every demand, every distraction. But what if you closed that door? What if you guarded your energy as something sacred? Today, I want to show you why withdrawing your constant availability is not selfish. It is the path to clarity, strength, and true change. We often don't realize it, but we are constantly making ourselves available to others, to their expectations, to their needs, and to their demands. It feels natural, doesn't it? It's almost as if being available is a sign of strength, of generosity. We think if we're always there, we're being helpful, we're being good to others. But what happens when you live this way, when your time is always at the mercy of others? You lose yourself in the process. You start giving out pieces of your energy until there's nothing left for you. The demands begin to pile up, one after another. A call here, a text there, someone needing you for this or that, and all the while, your inner world, your thoughts, your needs, your desires, become secondary. This constant availability creates a space where you are no longer in control of your time. It's as if you've opened your door to anyone who wants to walk in, and because the door is always open, people come in without hesitation. And each time they do, they take something. A little of your focus, a little of your attention, a little of your peace. When was the last time you stopped and asked yourself, is this my time? Is this my energy I'm giving away? It becomes so easy to say yes to everything because we're conditioned to believe that being there for others is our duty, our responsibility, even our identity. But here's the truth: you are not a machine that exists to fulfill the demands of others. When we say yes too often, we neglect ourselves. We tell ourselves that we're being kind or generous, but we're sacrificing our own sense of balance. It's like a glass of water being poured out continuously. Eventually, the glass becomes empty. What happens when you're empty? You can't give anymore. The energy you're offering is shallow, it's drained, and it doesn't have the power to make a real impact. You're not able to be fully present with the people you care about, and the work you're doing becomes more about survival than creation. This is why learning to say no, learning to withdraw your availability is so powerful. By taking back your time and energy, you begin to reclaim yourself. You begin to reassert control over what matters. People will often tell you that you have to be available, that you have to be there for them. But the truth is, if you're constantly available, you're no longer serving anyone, least of all yourself. You cannot give your best to others if you are not taking care of your own needs, if you're not giving yourself the space to recharge and reflect. When you stop being available to everything, you start making space for what truly matters. Your time becomes a precious commodity that you protect, and as a result, you become far more intentional about how you spend it. You stop reacting and start choosing. You stop letting life dictate your pace, and you begin to move with purpose. In that stillness, in that withdrawal, you begin to hear your own thoughts. You begin to feel what's truly important to you. This is the power of learning to be unavailable, to say no when necessary, to step back when needed, and to allow yourself the grace to simply be. When you stop being available to everything, you make room for the one thing that is most important: yourself. It's time to stop being endlessly available and start being available to what really matters. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first. We've all been there, hesitant to say no, afraid that others might be upset, or thinking that we'll disappoint someone. We often associate boundaries with rejection, with shutting others out. But the truth is, boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges. They are not walls that isolate us from others, but lines that protect us so we can engage with the world in a healthier way. Setting boundaries isn't about keeping people away. It's about respecting yourself enough to know where your energy should go and where it shouldn't. When you don't set boundaries, what happens is that you start giving away pieces of yourself to everyone who asks. Every little request, every demand becomes a tiny drain on your energy. And eventually, there's nothing left for the things that matter most to you. By not establishing boundaries, you allow others to shape your life, to decide how your time is spent, and to determine your worth based on how much you're willing to give. That's not respect, it's exploitation. You can't truly give to anyone if you're empty. Boundaries aren't selfish, they are self-respect. What's crucial to understand is that boundaries don't create distance. They actually create better, more honest relationships. When you make it clear what is acceptable and what is not, you give others the opportunity to respect you for who you are, not for what you do for them. You make space for authentic connections, where both people honor each other's time and energy. Boundaries help prevent resentment from building up, because they ensure that your needs are being met just as much as others. It's not about being harsh or unkind. It's about being honest and true to yourself. You may find it difficult at first. It may feel like you're being mean or like you're letting people down. But here's something important to remember. When you respect your own needs, others will learn to respect them too. It's not about shutting people out. It's about showing up for yourself first. Think of it like this. When you are at your best, when you are fully nourished, when your boundaries are intact, you have so much more to give to the world. You show up more fully for others when you stop overextending yourself. Your energy becomes more focused, more powerful. You become someone who is not constantly scattered, but someone who can pour their energy into what truly matters. When we fail to set boundaries, we also fail to prioritize what is essential. You let the noise and chaos of the world drown out your inner voice. But when you step back, when you define what is important to you, and set limits around those things, your life becomes more intentional. You make the decision to say no to things that aren't serving you, so you can say yes to the things that matter. The beauty of boundaries is that they give you the power to choose what you want to invest in, what aligns with your values, and what moves you closer to your true purpose. So, when you begin setting boundaries, you're not just protecting your time, you're protecting your sense of self. You're protecting your ability to show up authentically, to make decisions from a place of clarity rather than obligation. It's in setting these boundaries that you finally start to define your own life, your own path. The respect you show for yourself will naturally inspire others to respect you in return. And that, in turn, opens the door to richer, more fulfilling relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries are not walls. They are the foundation for a life of true connection. In a world filled with noise, it's easy to lose sight of who you are and what truly matters to you. Every moment, there's a constant stream of external demands. Messages, notifications, conversations, expectations, all pulling you in different directions. But amidst this chaos, there's one thing that holds the power to change everything: silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is the very space where clarity, it's not a strength, and insight emerge. When you stop allowing yourself to be constantly available, when you make room for silence, you begin to hear your own voice again. It's not a, in the stillness, you reconnect with your inner wisdom. You become aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your deepest desires. It's not a, this is the place where clarity lives. Without the noise of constant interaction, without the endless distractions, you can begin to hear what you truly need, what you truly want. The more you embrace silence, the more you understand the subtle cues that guide you. In the quiet moments, it's not a, you get in touch with the answers that are already inside you. They've been there all along, but the world has been too loud for you to hear them. Silence teaches you to listen, not only to the world around you but to yourself. It allows you to tune into the deepest layers of your consciousness. It's not a, to reflect on your actions, your choices, and your purpose. The more you learn to embrace silence, it's not a, the more you begin to discern what is worth your time and attention, and what isn't. Without it, we are constantly reactive, pulled from one distraction to the next, unable to truly listen to our own needs or make decisions that are aligned with who we are. But in silence, it's not, we find the power to be still, to observe, and to choose with intention. When you stop being available, you create the space for reflection. It's not a, you create the space for clarity. You are no longer driven by the noise around you, by the demands that others place on you. Instead, you begin to move from a place of inner knowing, from a place of quiet strength. Silence allows you to sift through the noise, to find what is truly important, and to let go of everything else. It's not just the absence of sound, it's the presence of presence. In silence, you become more aware of your true self. It's not the self that exists beyond the roles and labels the world places on you. Learning to embrace silence isn't easy, especially in a world that values constant activity and connectivity. We've been conditioned to believe that business is a sign of productivity. It's not that being constantly available means we're doing something meaningful. But the truth is, when we are always busy, we are often distracted. It's not we are often running away from the discomfort of being alone with ourselves. But silence is not something to fear. It's the place where you can finally hear the truth of who you are, where you can finally hear what you've been avoiding. It is in those quiet moments, those pauses between the noise, that you come back to yourself. It's in silence that you begin to understand the difference between what you must do and what you choose to do. Without this space, we are simply reacting to life, letting it sweep us away with every new demand, every new task. But with silence, you gain the clarity to act with intention. It's not to respond to life from a place of strength and wisdom. You start to see the bigger picture, to understand your place in the world, and to make decisions that are aligned with your true purpose. The power of silence is not in escaping the world, but in engaging with it from a deeper, more centered place. It is in these moments of stillness that you gain the perspective you need to navigate the noise and distractions of life with clarity and confidence. Silence is not a retreat from life. It is the doorway to a more authentic, more intentional existence. When you stop being available to the chaos, it's not that you open the door to silence, and in silence everything changes. When you stop being available for everything, you make the conscious choice to protect your time and energy. And in doing so, you begin to shift from a scattered, divided state to one of focused intention. Think about it. How often do you find yourself being pulled in multiple directions at once? It's not how often do you attempt to juggle one thing while you're already mentally preparing for the next? In this state, your attention is fragmented. It's like trying to focus on a conversation while scrolling through your phone or answering emails. You're not truly present for either. It's not you're simply going through the motions. But when you withdraw from constant availability, when you stop spreading yourself thin, you begin to create a space for laser-like focus. You remove the distractions, the noise, and the interruptions, and in that space, you can give your full attention to what is in front of you. This is when you truly begin to master your craft, whatever it may be. Whether it's your work, or your passion, or your relationships, the quality of your attention directly determines the outcome. When you are scattered, you might get things done. It's not but you won't achieve excellence. You might meet deadlines, but the work lacks depth. It's only when you commit to giving your full focus to something that it becomes more than just a task to check off. In a world that values multitasking and constant activity, it's easy to believe that spreading your attention across many things is the way to be productive. It's not but the truth is multitasking is a myth. Studies have shown that our brains are not equipped to focus on more than one thing at a time. When we think we're multitasking, we're actually rapidly switching between tasks, losing valuable time and energy in the process. The result? Lower quality work, higher stress, and a constant feeling of being overwhelmed. But when you choose to focus on one thing at a time, when you dedicate your full attention to a single task or a single person, you allow yourself to experience the depth of that moment. You are no longer scattered, no longer pulled in multiple directions. Your mind is clear and your energy is fully invested. This is where real productivity comes from. Choosing to be present, choosing to be intentional, and choosing to give your best to the moment in front of you. It's not think about the last time you truly immersed yourself in something, whether it was reading a book, working on a project. It's not or spending time with someone important to you. In those moments, you didn't feel distracted. You weren't checking your phone or thinking about the next thing. You were present, and in that presence you felt a deep sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. That's what happens when you focus. You move away from shallow, surface-level engagement and begin to experience life more profoundly. This doesn't mean you have to be rigid or inflexible. Life will always throw distractions and demands your way. But when you have made the decision to be unavailable for everything, when you have learned to say no, it's not you begin to create the time and energy for what truly matters. You begin to approach your work and relationships with purpose, not out of obligation. And when you work with purpose, you become more effective, more creative, and more fulfilled. When you stop being available to everything, your focus sharpens. It's not you no longer feel like you're chasing after everything that comes your way, but instead you begin to choose what you want to pursue, what is worthy of your time and energy. You can go deeper into your craft, into your relationships, into your goals. And that's where the magic happens. It's not you start to see the results of your dedication. You see the progress, the growth, the mastery. It's no longer about doing more, but about doing what matters with all of your attention. Focus, real focus, is a superpower. It's the key to achieving greatness in anything you do. And the only way to cultivate it is by choosing to stop being available to everything else. Once you do that, everything begins to change. It's not there's a certain power in the word, no. But for many of us, it's a word we struggle with. We've been taught to please, to say yes, to be accommodating, to be the person who is always there, always willing. It's seen as a virtue to say yes, to be available, to put others first. But the truth is, saying yes to everything is often a path to exhaustion, resentment, and disconnection from what truly matters to you. It's time to recognize that saying no is not a rejection of others. It's an act of self-respect and a necessary step in protecting your time and energy. No. When you say no, you're not only protecting your own well-being, you're also being honest with the people around you. By setting boundaries and choosing not to say yes to every request or expectation, you create space for what truly aligns with your values, your goals, and your purpose. Every no is a yes to something else. Whether it's time for yourself, time for your family, or time to focus on something that truly matters. It's not you cannot give your best to everything and everyone. When you say yes too often, you end up giving a diluted version of yourself. It's not and you're not able to show up fully for anyone, including yourself. It's not it's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes because you don't want to disappoint people. We all want to be liked, to be needed, to feel valuable. It's not but constantly agreeing to things out of obligation rather than choice leads to burnout. You give away your energy, your time. It's not and your attention to things that don't align with who you are or where you want to go. And what happens then? You end up feeling empty. You feel disconnected from your own needs, from your true desires, and from the things that give your life meaning. When you start saying no, it's not you begin to reclaim your energy. You start to prioritize what matters most to you. It's not about being selfish or unkind. It's about being intentional with your time. Saying no is an act of clarity. It's a way of deciding what is worth your time and energy, and what isn't. It's not saying no to one thing means saying yes to something that will move you closer to your goals, to your true self. Each no creates space for the things that will nourish you, that will help you grow, and that will bring you fulfillment. People will respect your no more than you think. Yes, it may be uncomfortable at first, but over time, it's not you'll notice that others begin to respect your boundaries. They will learn that your time is valuable, that you are intentional about how you spend it. It's not and that you are someone who has a clear sense of what matters. Saying no does not make you a bad person. It makes you a person who values themselves enough to know that not everything deserves their attention. It's not the beauty of saying no is that it frees you from the constant pressure of meeting everyone else's expectations. It allows you to take back control of your life. It's not to focus on what truly serves you and the people who matter most to you. It's not about being unavailable, but about being available for the right things. It's not it's about being available for your own growth, your own health, and your own sense of purpose. Every time you say no, you are affirming your worth. It's not you are saying, value myself enough to prioritize what truly aligns with my life and my purpose. You are choosing to live with intention, not just reacting to the demands of the world. It's saying no is a powerful for taking back control of your life and ensuring that your time and energy are being spent in the ways that matter most. It's not a key to living authentically, to living with purpose. So, the next time you're faced with a request, ask yourself, does this serve me? Does this align with my values? And if the answer is no, it's not a, remember that saying no is not a rejection. It's a conscious choice to protect your time and energy for the things that matter most. When you stop being available for everything, you open the door to transformation. This isn't just about saying no to the noise. It's about saying yes to what truly matters. Your purpose, your growth, your well-being. Every time you step back from the demands of others, it's not a, you're making space for something new to emerge. You create room for clarity, for strength. It's not a, and for the kind of transformation that only happens when you take control of your life, your time, and your energy. The world constantly pulls at you. It's not a, asking for your attention, your presence, your energy. And when you give in to these demands without thought, you start to lose yourself. It's not a, you become a reflection of other people's needs, other people's desires, rather than the reflection of who you are meant to be. But when you withdraw from that constant availability, you begin to rediscover yourself. You start to realize that you don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to bend to every whim, every request. You don't have to perform for others to validate your worth. It is through this withdrawal, it's not a, through stepping back from the rush and chase, that real transformation occurs. You begin to see yourself more clearly, to understand what truly matters to you. It's not a, when you stop being available for every distraction, you give yourself the chance to grow, to focus on your passions. It's not a, to reconnect with the things that inspire you and push you forward. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life, to get lost in the daily grind, to think that your value is determined by how much you can give. But real transformation doesn't come from being spread thin. It comes from honing your energy, aligning it with your true purpose, and investing it in what matters most. This shift, this transformation, goes beyond just your personal life. It's not a, it affects how you show up in the world. When you stop being available to everything that doesn't align with your vision, it's not a, you free yourself to become the person you've always been meant to be. You stop being driven by external expectations, and you start living from your own center. It's not a, you stop reacting to life and you begin to create it. When you align with your true self, you attract the right opportunities, the right people. It's not a, and the right experiences. It's in this space of transformation that you discover your true strength. It's not that you realize that strength isn't about how much you can do or how many people you can please. Strength is about knowing when to step back, when to say no. It's not a, and when to protect your energy. It's about being firm in your boundaries and choosing to live from a place of purpose, not obligation. It's not a, when you stop being available for everything, you start showing up for the things that actually move you forward. It's not a, you start showing up for the things that nourish you, that align with your deepest desires. It's not a, you begin to see that your life is not about being busy, it's about being intentional. And this transformation, this shift in how you engage with the world, it's not a, creates a ripple effect. As you become more focused, more intentional, the energy you put out into the world changes. You attract people who respect your boundaries and support your growth. You find yourself moving toward the things that bring you joy, that bring you peace, and that align with your highest potential. Stopping the endless cycle of availability is not just about protecting yourself. It's about opening the door to a new chapter of your life. It's not a chapter where you live with purpose, where you engage with the world in a way that reflects your true self. It's about transforming from a passive participant in life to an active creator. When you stop being available for everything, everything begins to change.